ES Audio.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Travers, and this is Tech and Science Daily. Today, to mark Earth Day, we're looking at our beautiful home from a different perspective. Earth is about 4.543 billion years old, but despite us trying to reach and explore new planets, there's still quite a lot of mystery on our own.
We talk a lot about our planet here. There is a lot we don't know. We continue to explore. People continue to learn the amazing ability of our planet. It's basically an organism in and of itself, and it's an amazing ability to create this environment that you and I can survive on the surface of this planet, but also the fragility of it.
Across the world, there are thousands upon thousands of caves, hidden worlds deep beneath the Earth's surface. Only some people are brave enough to explore them, like Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency.
I saw places that I expected to see in a cave, which were just kind of muddy, rocky walls. But then I saw these other places where water had, dripped over thousands of years and had formed like cathedrals, like walking into a beautiful cathedral, huge areas with almost artwork. It was absolutely a hidden world.
As part of Jeremy's space training, he's ventured deep underground rocky caves in Sardinia. They're slippery, sharp, narrow, and of course, completely dark inside.
When I look at a mountain, now I wonder what's underneath there, what's inside that mountain, as opposed to just what it looks like on the outside. It's not a place that you can easily get to. It takes a team of people to get you there safely and back. We were leaving sunlight for an entire week before we came back out. We only had, basically a small backpack, this little cylindrical yellow waterproof backpack that we could take into the cave that was small enough to squeeze through the spaces that had, the basics of what we would need. In some places, you're basically, on the edges of cliffs or trying to rappel down or climb across an area where you could easily fall and be injured or killed. In other areas, you're swimming to get further and deeper into the cave. In other areas, you're squeezing through tight places to see what's on the other side, not knowing what you're going to see when you get to the other side. The air temperature in the cave is, it's very consistent, and it's not cold, but it's damp. And so you do have to, constantly try to keep yourself dry. And so when you're swimming, you pack everything else up to make sure it does not get wet, and you wear a wetsuit. When you're not swimming and you have your other clothes on, you have to work really hard to keep yourself dry so that you can stay warm and sleep at night. Self-care is really important on a caving expedition, first from a safety point of view, because any injury where you can't, self-extract from the cave means that you have to be carried out. And that means for every, hour or every few hours in the cave, you're talking about days to get out when they're trying to rescue you. It's a big deal.
So why exactly do astronauts train here?
So we have some expert trainers because caving is not an area of expertise for our Corps of astronauts. Space is dangerous. Space is challenging. And so caves provides us opportunity to manage risk as a team, to work on our teamwork skills. We want to put a lot of pressure on our astronauts and then basically debrief and critique our team performance under high pressure situations. We have an opportunity to be a proxy scientist for other experts in the field. And so we didn't necessarily design any of the science that we were doing. We just went down and did it on behalf of other scientists who weren't there with us. So they basically taught us before we went into the cave on how to collect data, whether we were collecting data on humidity or wind in the cave, biological samples or water samples, or taking photos, taking measurements. We provide that data when we get back and they use it and they write papers. And it's kind of the exact same thing that we do on the International Space Station, this amazing laboratory that humanity has in space. And if somebody has a puzzle they're trying to unravel and the space station laboratory can help them do it, then we do that science on their behalf. We continue to use these, what we call analogs for training, which is for going back to the moon, for example, certainly for Mars. And one of the neat aspects of the Caves expedition or other geology training is the fact that we are practicing these same skill sets that we use to interpret the environment to do research on the moon, for example, or on Mars. Geology is one of the pillars of science that we're doing in these new places that we explore.
Let's go to the ads. Stay there to hear more from astronaut Jeremy Hansen. In the meantime, why not give Tech and Science Daily a rate and follow? Despite the relatively hostile conditions and atmosphere, somehow there is still life within the caves.
The ones that we did see, they were basically translucent, like white translucent, which was interesting because it's not normally how we see, little bugs. They just adapt differently, live in a different environment. They never have any light. That's kind of cool. Like life is, I guess you're struck by the fact, how does stuff live down here? But yet it does. There isn't much life that you can pick up with your visible eye to collect. We did collect some tiny little organisms while we were in the cave, but mostly we're just collecting water samples or swabbing areas that would be analyzed after we got back to the surface.
Jeremy says that space is and will continue to play an important role when it comes to protecting Earth.
Well, when you think about taking care of our planet, there are a couple of things that overlap with space exploration. The first is innovation. And so I think it's probably clear to everybody now that there are only two options. We basically go back in time where we don't do as much damage to the Earth, where we have a smaller population, but that's not practical. So the only option really is innovation. We have to innovate to create solutions to sustain our presence here on the planet while doing less damage. And space exploration has been a huge enabler of innovation that helps us on the planet. In fact, space becomes one of the best places to take the heartbeat of our planet, for example, and to really understand climate change and to enable us in climate adaptation. So innovation is the first place of significant overlap. The second area of overlap is collaboration. If we truly are going to take, that mentality of collaboration, of us working together to take care of one another, to ensure our own safety, to accomplish our goals, I think that does translate directly to climate change. It's clear that we will have to collaborate as a species in order to, protect this planet and to make the changes necessary. We really do feel that space is an important pillar of protecting our planet going forward. Space has changed a lot in the past even decade that I've been so focused on it, in that we are delivering more and more services from space. And this becomes a more efficient way to deliver these services to every place on the planet. Some of these solutions, these innovative solutions, will have a significant impact on how we adapt on our planet, but how we take care of our planet going forward.
That was Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency, speaking to us from the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, in honor of Earth Day. Tech and Science Daily will be back on Monday at 1 p.m. See you then.